race fans, sim fans, RC fans, Racing 393. So we're going to try something. I thought of an idea, something maybe a little bit different. I'm not sure how this will work, but I'm going to take a few cars, put them up against each other around the Top Gear test track. You know, I'm a great Top Gear fan, like a lot of people were and are, but I particularly liked the old school, the old way of doing it back in, you know, the early 2000s, when Jeremy and Richard Hammond and Jason Dorr, I think, was on it. So it's before James May. And, you know, they did the cars. They took some cars around, well, the Stig mainly, took the cars around the test track, which they sort of continued that theory for many years. And even the new Top Gear replicates that to a point. It's not quite the same. So what I thought I'd do is compile just a group of cars, nothing spectacular, mainly road cars, and put them around the track. And I'm going to probably, it's very easy to set the parameters of the track so that they're perfect. But what I thought I'd do is a little bit like they do on the TV. They just keep, because we can run the Soul mod, I thought just keep it set to real settings. So if it's wet, it's wet. If it's not, it's not. I don't know how that'll work. I'm not too sure. They do say that a wet lap time, Dig that says he's about 4 seconds a lap slower in the wet to what the dry time would be. So I'm just interested to see how accurate this all is. If it gets not many views, I won't bother. But anyway, as you can see here, we've got a rather old, you know, 1994 Audi RS2. Basically what a station wagon, an estate. Nice car in its day. It's a nice car now, in fact. I quite like Audis. It's got quite a large engine, actually. It's a 5-cylinder, 2.2 turbo, putting out 315 brake horse. I have actually checked the Assetto Corsa and the mod, and it's the same. I don't know how it will drive, but we'll find out. 6,000 RPM, sort of at maximum power, maximum torque. It says 302 foot-pounds of torque, so that's quite punchy, to be honest. 1.6, just under 1.6 kg, so a ton and a half. And the power to weight is 201 brake horse per ton, so not bad. You know, for a road car we're talking, not bad. 0 to 60, I'm not sure whether we can try this out on the game. I'll have to find out. I don't think the drag racing part works, but I'm going to find out. Reported 0 to 60, 5.4 seconds. I'm going to see what I can do in the game to see what we can come up with. Top speed, a limited top speed of 163 miles an hour. Again, I don't have a runway long enough. I might try and find one in Assetto Corsa just to see if we can do that as well. I'm just interested to see how accurate game stats are to the real life. And then we can compare car for car, like for like, to see whether or not it's accurate. And if it is, we can continue, and there's many cars out there, loads and loads, that we can try out and go from there, really. So it's just an idea, just see if it works. Anyway, we'll get in this beast and see if it can go. We're here at the Top Gear test track. I've decided to do, I'm going to try it real conditions. So it is what it is. So if it's wet out, it'll be wet out. If it's raining there, so be it. Looking at the weather, broken clouds, temperature's about 12 degrees, and we're going to be going out in the Audi RS2, 1993. So I'm going to try this and a few other bits and pieces. If you get to see this video, then it worked fine, it would seem. And if you don't, well, you won't see it. So we're sat here on the start-finish line, if you like, on the test track, Top Gear. Looks alright. It's a bit overcast, but it is dry. So we've got manual shifting on, H pattern. I believe that's what this had. We'll give it a couple of laps, and then we'll go for a reasonably push lap to see just really how this car will go. Bear in mind it's a standing start for the for this, so I don't know whether I'm going to set that up as a standing start yet. Sounds quite good actually. So wide in, bit of understeer there. Coming up to the hammerhead. Seems to have plenty of power. Even though I'm not very good on the brakes. So we've done a few practice laps. I've had to turn the braking down. I've got it set as if it was a single seater. I don't think it needs to be quite that harsh in a saloon road going car. So. So has a lot of torque. Nice sounding engine anyway.
That lap time was 1:31.24. Your times are good in all three sectors.
So we've done a 1:31. It's very unstable under braking. As you can see there. Trying to keep it as tidy as I can. It's got good traction off the corner. Hitting the rev limiter then. Coming up to the hammerhead. Locked it up then. Coming through to one of the fastest parts of the circuit. Of the lap, I should say.
Your sector 2 time is quick. We've got cold tyres, we need to get some heat into them.
Across the line.
You've just done a 1:29.48. Good lap. That's your quickest today. All three sectors are pretty quick.
Yes. Right. Let me just flip over to the replay. Let's see what it looked like from outcar. I do think this track has a bit of a glitchy camera replay on one of the sectors, but we'll have a look. So here we are going to start the lap. I appreciate that the normal Top Gear way of doing it is a standing start. That might be an option. I'm just going to show you this one first. So I've got it in slow motion at the moment. I'm going to see whether this is worth doing in slow motion. It is a short lap nevertheless, but it is, as you can see, a bit almost dark. Well, it's not quite dark, but twilight. The car handles really well actually for a sort of a... It goes as like I would think it would go. I've never driven one of these. It's a lot softer on the suspension than any race car, but you can see they're coming into the first corner. It's on a slight drift. You can see the car wallowing there under the weight of the car. 1,500 kilograms, 1.5 ton. There is a slight glitch on one of the cameras on the follow through because it sort of picks up the view from another camera angle, but we can get away with that. A bit wide there, but that's okay. We didn't get any shortcut call there from the crew chief. The idea when it comes to there's the glitch at that point there, because the follow through's behind it going the other way. It can't work out what camera's what. I can change cameras. Again, I might try and change this a little bit. I'm going to see what works, what doesn't work, and hopefully get some feedback from people that might watch this. So we're coming down to the hammerhead. So I try to take a nice sort of wide. One is I know the camera's there, and it looks good. So that's not a bad line. I can be a bit wider, but it doesn't really matter because the hammerhead, you've got to really take it a lot slower. You know, the slow is fast type thing, especially in a road car. So we're heavy on the brakes because the front weight transfer going forward. This car's a 2017 mod. I think I'd slide it in there a little bit. I think the ABS, I think this comes with ABS as standard. So whatever's on the car will be on the car. You can see the tyre flex there as it goes around. There's a couple of glitches there in typical Assetto Corsa fashion. I'm not too concerned. I just want to make sure this looks how I want it to look. So we've got quite a nice line coming out. We can go right up to the white line on the outside there, but I didn't use that much of the track. And also I want to make it, I think if I do it slow motion, it maybe gives you a little more time to talk about the car. So, although I haven't really spoken about it much, it's more about the lap. So this is the follow through, this bit. I didn't realise that the names were coming up. I'd forgotten about that. Didn't realise. So there's a bit of a glitch there. It's only a camera glitch. There might be a fix for that, but I've not found it. And this is kind of the interesting one because I've kept it on the camera that would show on TV, and it just flickers back and forth here. Oh, it's Bentley, so they've called that one Bentley. I thought that was the follow through. Or is Bentley the next one? So we're coming down to the final two left-handers before the line. We're on the brakes, trying to keep it as smooth as possible. I did third gear and then second gear on the little... Let's go to second to last. I think that is the name of it. The next one should be called Gambon, if I'm correct there. So I'll quickly shift it here in this short shoot down to second to try and maintain that torque off of the corner. Or a bit wide. Yeah, it's called Gambon. Coming around, it's really loaded up on the outside, as you can see. Bit of understeer as well. And we across the line. Ta-da! So, that's the Advent RS2 by Audi. I know I've said that back to front, but this cost about 40 grand when it was new. 40 grand. You could probably pick these up for, I don't know what they'd be worth now. 94. 94, 2004, 14, 24, 5 years old. Wow, if they're still about. Nice cars in their day. Obviously, they've got the RS3, 4, and so on and so forth now. But we're going to pitch this car up against, probably find one of its competitors of the time. I'm thinking of a Subaru, the station wagon. I forget what it's actually called, but I'm going to see if I can find one. And we'll go from there. So we're going to look at the lap time now, what this did. Okay, so that's the end of the lap. I did record me talking and going over the lap time, but it recorded a blank screen, so you've got a picture of the car again and me battering on in the background. So a 129.486, I think I did. I also mentioned it was 1,500 kilograms. The car's actually 1,600 kilograms, so 1.6 tons rear-wheel drive, 311 brake horsepower. It's basically based on the. Do you remember the Audi A2? Remember the front of an Audi A2? Well, it kind of looks a little bit like that. But so we've got that lap time done. I have looked for a Subaru station wagon. I couldn't find one, so the only thing I found that was close was unfortunately the newer non-rally version, the WRX. Is it STI? The little like hatchback one, made in 2008. So I might take that one round. It's got very similar credentials. Only thing it's all-wheel drive, so I don't know how that will fare. But this one has a lot of grunts, a lot of torque, and it has a lot of power. And bear in mind, this mod was, like I say, 2017. I think this mod was actually released. So anyhow, yeah, I appreciate you watching. If you've got this far and listening, etc., etc. I shall crack on with another video and hopefully see you soon for a comparison. Hope you enjoyed it.